Oh, I've lost my thing. Good evening and welcome to Facebook Live with me. Tonight I want to talk about relapses, cravings and triggers, and how you can actually beat them, how you can overcome them. We'll talk a little bit about what they are as well, but I'm sure you know what they are. And at the end of the video, we'll go through a very, very simple exercise that will help you to deal with any cravings that come up at any time. It's a simple exercise and it works really well. And you don't need it just for cravings. You can use it in any kind of situation where you've got emotions or feelings or thoughts that you don't actually want inside your head. But we'll do that at the end, okay? But first of all, I want to talk about why people relapse and also cravings and all that kind of thing. Cravings, as you probably know, they are physiological and psychological. This thing called alcohol, it's like a parasite. It's like this thing that gets inside your head and takes over your central nervous system and turns you into a kind of automaton, a robot, a zombie, that kind of thing. And the last thing it wants to do is to let go of you. So it will do whatever it can to keep you in its trap, in its snare. And it can take an awful lot for you to escape that. One of the issues that we have is that sometimes when people decide that enough's enough, I want to stop drinking, is that they don't have any kind of plan. They don't know what's going to happen the other side of getting sober. And so a craving comes along, bang, hits them right bang in the face, and before you know it, they're back to day one again. I mean, we've all seen the posts in the various groups where this has happened, somebody's come round, somebody's phoned up, they've read something, somebody's happened, lots of different things, and then the body just gives in to this craving, and the person is just like under the table, stone dead drunk, and that's it. So what we need to do is we need to think about our triggers and our cravings. Before I do that, I want to tell you a story. Excuse me. A bit of a dry throat tonight. There was a person I was talking to a few weeks ago, and this person was telling me about an event that happened across the Christmas and New Year. She had gone to stay with a friend for a few days and then was going up to visit family, sister and other associated family members. And the two people didn't really get on that well, but she felt obliged to go. So the plan was a couple of days with a friend and then on the train and go and see the family, a couple of days there, and then escape back down to home. So the friend knew that our heroine in this story was broke. So she said, look, I know you're going up to see the family for Christmas. You can't really go up empty-handed. Here's 2 really nice bottles of wine. Take them to give to your sister when you get up there, and just say you bought them and you saved up and all that kind of thing. It'd be really nice. You don't want to go to the family house empty-handed. So the lady said, yeah, that's really generous of you, thank you so much. Left, got on the train, spent 3, 4, 5 hours on the train. The bottles of wine stayed in the bag, untouched, unlooked at, not even thought about. The lady gets to the sisters, and like I said to you before, they don't really get on that well. They clash a little bit, and then lo and behold, after literally about an hour of being in each other's company, they start off, and this activates a trigger in our heroine's mind, and the next thing she knows, she's gone up to the bedroom. The 2 bottles of wine which she hadn't given because she was going to wrap them up and give them as a Christmas present, the 2 bottles of wine in a bag, she opens them up, necks down one, leaves the house, jumps in a cab and goes to stay with an old boyfriend, shall we say, and spends the next 4, 5, 6, 7 days, she doesn't know actually how long she was there, getting completely off her head, yeah, and losing all that time because of one particular scenario. Now, a lot of people would say, okay, it's very clear that the trigger was the alcohol, the 2 bottles of wine. But it wasn't, because if you go back to the story, the lady was sat on the train with these 2 bottles in the bag, untouched, unthought about, not even caring about them. For me, the trigger was actually going to the family home, the sister's house, and interacting with a person that she didn't get on with too well, and being in a very, very vulnerable situation. That was the trigger. And so you could say, well, okay, Paul, well, so what? What can you do about it? Well, I don't want to be harsh, I don't want to be nasty, but when you're trying to go through a period of recovery, you want to avoid as many triggers as possible, or have plans in place to deal with them. So in this particular story, in my view, the lady just shouldn't have bothered going to the sister's house for Christmas. Should have made other plans, maybe sent some cards, sent some presents via the post, and just said, not this year. Okay, the family might have been a bit upset, a bit angry or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, your health is the most important thing. So what we need to do is to think about ourselves and our health, and we need to plan. Because triggers can come at any time, cravings can come at any time and can be triggered by all sorts of things. They can be triggered by walking past a pub you used to go into. They can be triggered by an ad on the TV. They can be triggered by a phone call. They can be triggered by words you read in a newspaper or a magazine. They can be triggered by all sorts of things. And so what you need is a coping mechanism. You need to have some kind of ideas how you associated in the past with alcohol, with booze. Maybe you've got a couple of close friends who were your drinking buddies, and whenever they call, that immediately triggers the association. Friends, we always go down to the pub, we always have a few drinks, bang, another trigger, another relapse. So what we need to do is not necessarily to ditch our friends. That's not the ideal scenario. Now, of course, yeah, if your friends are being, how can I put it, if they're sort of bullying you to go back drinking again and not being helpful, then yeah, you do need to kind of think about, well, are these people really my friends? And you might just want to, say goodbye permanently and find yourself some new friends, because they're not helping you. You have quit drinking, you want to get sober, stay sober, and go through a complete recovery process. You don't want to be drawn back in by friends just because they're quite selfish and want to go out for a drink. So you need to have a plan in place. One big thing you need to do is to have distractions, all kinds of distractions. Now, I know you read it a lot, you should exercise and do this and do that and do the other. But if you find exercise boring, it's not a distraction. You need to think about things like, say you're quite a brainy, intelligent, inquisitive person. That's been damped down while you're drinking, and when you start to get sober, that inquisitiveness, that curiosity, that wanting to create and do things starts coming back in. So use that. Yeah, start a new hobby, photography or doodling. Or I read a post the other day about a group of people in Australia that got together and they were knitting, of all things, because obviously knitting takes both hands and a lot of concentration to do it properly, not to mess things up. And so that kind of distracts the brain from trying to mislead you down a wrong kind of road. So anything that can distract you, there's all sorts of things you can do, but you need to know, you need to do a bit of thinking, you need to do a bit of detective work. You need to sort of find out more about yourself, maybe you had lots of passions before you started drinking and lost interest in those things. It might be time to sort of delve back into the past and sort of dig out the painting set, dig out the chessboard, find the running shoes, whatever it was, and use those as distractions. You can get over cravings. Cravings tend to be very, very, very short. I mean, what's happening is, just think of it this way. You're getting sober, you've not drunk for a day, a week, a month, 6 months, a year, whatever. And the alcohol, this parasite is going, I need to get this bloody slave to drink again. I need to get it to drink. So it's going to start doing whatever it can. It's going to start tricking you. It's going to start lying to you. It's going to start saying, you know how much fun you were when you used to have a drink. You know how sexy you were when you had a drink. Come on, let's just go and have one drink. There's a party down the street. We can go and have some fun. Look, the supermarket's got a special offer on. Let's just go in there and just get one small bottle and just have some fun. Yeah, you'll be fine. That'll be it. You won't have a hangover in the morning. You're not going to black out. And it goes on and on and on and on and on and on, trying to find a way to get you back into the bottle again. And that's all that's happening. This parasite is, you're trying to starve it. Yeah, you're going dry. You're trying to starve it out of your head and get your life back. Okay. It wants the opposite. It wants to stay there and it wants you back in its clutches. So that's what these cravings are. The cravings are just simply the alcohol firing stuff at you, just saying, look, do this, do this, do this. And it lies to you all the time. Because you know very well that if you go out for one drink, it's never going to be one drink, is it? It's going to be 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then we lose count and we wake up somewhere we don't even know where we are. And that's what you're avoiding. And that's what you need to tell yourself. You need to fill your brain with, I hate to talk about positive thinking, and I don't want to talk about positive thinking. You need to fill your brain with the outcomes that you're looking for. You want to get your life back. If you need to lose weight, stopping drinking alcohol is a great way of doing that. You want to be able to get your street cred back. You want to be able to do a triathlon. You want to be able to write that book. You want whatever it is, and just continuously remind yourself of why you're doing it. And that's why I keep saying there are 2 things that are really, really important to help you stop drinking forever and just completely forget about booze. The first one is try and go back in your mind and find out why you started drinking. And then look at all the associations with that one particular reason and then change those associations. Imagine you're watching this is a bit of an NLP, but imagine you're watching your past on a movie screen, okay? And it's probably all colour and glossy and lots of noise and stuff. Make it black and white, make it quieter, and make it the picture smaller, so that all that harm and pain or hurt, whatever it is that's got you drinking, you start to minimize the impact of that. Yeah. The second thing you need to do, is to figure out what is your primary reason for quitting. Not because you should, not because somebody on the internet should, not because your best friend should. What is your real reason for stopping drinking? Yeah, the most important one. A couple of people I've spoken to recently, they'd been to the doctor, had a medical exam, and the doctor said, look, if you don't stop drinking, you're going to be dead in less than 2 years. Now that was a major, major, major reason. Want to see grandkids growing up, want to be part of the family, don't want to leave because they're still young. So that's a major reason. Maybe you've got a son or a daughter that refuses to have anything to do with you because of your drinking habits. Well, maybe you want to get back with them. Maybe you want to get back involved in their family. Maybe they've just had a kid and you want to go and see that kid. That's another great reason. So find your reason why you're quitting. And then these 2 things, there will be one you need to sort of de-emphasize, and with the other one you need to overemphasize. So you're kind of doing this, putting more emphasis on the reason why you're stopping, and then de-emphasize the reason why you started. Okay, do those 2 things, and this will help with your cravings and everything else. How are we doing for time? Okay. So before I start the exercise, just want to remind people, what I do is I help people that, have got a problem with drinking and they want to get sober. I help them get sober and keep them sober and help them get control of their lives back. Now, if you know anyone that, might benefit from watching me yabbering on live here or the posts that I've got, please tag them in the post or share the post or get them to some of your friends' requests, anything like that. That would be great, and I really appreciate it. And also, if you've got any questions or comments that you'd like me to discuss with you, drop those down in the comment box below, and then I'll do a video on that. Now, what I'd like to do to finish with is I'm going to run through an exercise, and this exercise will help you in all sorts of different situations, and particularly the exercise I've got for you tonight will help you with cravings. So hopefully you're in somewhere, a fairly quiet space. Get yourself nice and relaxed, and for a couple of seconds I want you to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly button, and just breathe for a few seconds. That's it, just breathe. And what I'm looking for is for the hand on the chest to stay still, and for you to start to feel some movement in your belly button. Oh, sorry, the hand that's on your belly button. And why do I want to do this? Because if the top hand on your chest is moving, you're only breathing into between the top quarter and the top third of your lungs. So you're not using a lot of capacity, and you're not developing a lot of relaxation from that. Whereas if you can move the hand that's on your belly button, you'll find that you're breathing a lot deeper and a lot slower, and you find yourself becoming much more relaxed. So what I want to do now is just put your hands down by your side, and if possible just close your eyes for a second and just keep that breathing going in. And what we're going to do is we're going to count our breathing, and we're going to count up to 10 and then back to 1 and repeat the cycle, and I'll explain why in a second. So deep breath in, but don't force it, just a gentle deep breath. Doesn't matter if you can't go in too far, just as far as you can. So in for 1 and then out for 2, in 3, out 4, in 5, breathe out for 6, in 7, and breathe out for 8, 9 and 10, and then back to 1, and then at your own pace just start again, breathing in for 1 and out for 2, and bring all of your attention to counting those breaths. Keep counting the breaths. Now if you get interrupted by a thought that says, what am I going to have for dinner tonight, or I need to do this, that or the other, don't get angry, don't be annoyed with yourself, just go back to number 1 and keep going. Now keep breathing and just listen to my voice for a couple of seconds. If you're having a problem with cravings and the thought comes into your head, something like, I want to have a drink right now, you need to go and get a drink, just keep breathing and be very gentle with yourself. Don't get angry, don't get upset, don't call yourself names. Just say to that thought, I hear you, I understand what you're saying, but 2 things. You know I'm stopping, so that's not going to happen, but also I'm busy, I'm counting my breaths. And then go back to number 1 and carry on breathing. Now of course, you know, alcohol is a bit of a trickster, so it might come back with something like, well, you know, you feel really good after you had a drink, and you know, doing this breathing is not going to help you relax as much as having a drink, so let's skip this and go and have a drink. But just again, just very gently say, I hear what you're saying, I understand, but that's not going to happen. I've stopped drinking and I'm getting healthy and I'm busy counting my breath. And go back to number 1 again and keep going. Now this is not a competition to see how many times you can go from 1 to 10 without an interruption. It's to help you deal with your cravings or any negative thoughts or any upset or emotions that you don't want. So wherever you are in the cycle, breathe in and breathe out. Keep counting. Breathe in, breathe out. And as another thought comes in, just very gently, just acknowledge it, tell it to come back later, and carry on with your breathing back to 1. In for 1 and out for 2, in for 1, and out for 2. And what you'll notice is that particularly with cravings, that after you've done this 3 or 4, maybe 5, 6 times, it will disappear because you're in charge. And you're not being angry, you're not trying to have a fight with this thought, you're just saying, I don't want that thought right now, thank you. Yeah, I've got other things on my mind, I'm counting my breaths, and I'm looking forward to being totally sober and relaxed and healthy and fit. Use whatever words work for you, okay? And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. And just remember that every time a thought comes in, treat it very gently and just push it away like a fluffy cloud and go back to your breathing. Now, some of you might be thinking, this is a load of garbage, Paul, it won't work. I tell you, I promise you, this does work. I use it all the time. If I get upset, if I get angry, if I get frustrated, if something bad happens, I'll just sit down somewhere and I'll just breathe and I'll count my breaths. And I'll count to 10. And then any thought that comes in, I'll just gently acknowledge it and tell it to move along. Now eventually, if you practice this enough, you'll be able to do this with your eyes open. And you'll be able to do it if you're on the bus or on the train or in the office. Ideally, you want somewhere that's quiet and not too much distraction around the place, because that way you can just focus inwards and just link in with your breath and just breathing in, breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. And just remember, any thought that comes in, just be really gentle with it and just tell it, not now, I'm busy, I'm counting my breath, and that's not where I want to go right now. So I'm going to end the video here. If you want to carry on breathing with this exercise, please do so, it's not a problem, and you can stop whenever you want, or if you want to stop right now, that's great. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like or share this video, and if you need my help, just drop me a PM and I'll send you a link to a survey that you can fill out for me. You can get me pretty much anytime, day or night. My phone's always on and I can always pick up the messages in the morning. So enjoy the rest of your day and practice this exercise as often as you can, even if you don't have a craving. Yeah, just practice it. Just a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there. If you can get into a routine, do it for a few minutes when you wake up and do it for a few minutes before you go to bed. And then any time throughout the day where something comes up that might aggravate you or upset you, just simply breathe. Yeah? So thanks for watching, and I'll be here tomorrow night. Bye.